In the month of July 2017, it's now more critically important than ever to think about the state of this nation and its place in the world, to contemplate where we would be right now if Hillary Rodham Clinton would have been elected. But not just here in the United States, all over the world, powerful forces of individualism are manifesting themselves through nationalism, self-determination, and the drive for open, free, dynamic civilization is exploding. The fires of liberty have been rekindled. Look at the New World Order. It's falling apart. Look at crony global capitalism that's anti-free market and authoritarian, allied with radical Islam. It is disintegrating before our very eyes. The tide of this unelected monstrosity, as Peter Thiel recently said, is going out and going out quickly.
It's hard to give all the reasons why, but I think the tide on globalization is just going out.
Really?
And it's going out on all these different dimensions. And so if you have movement of people, I think immigration is getting more restrictive, not just in the U.S., but throughout the Western world. I think movement of trade. I think that's I think there's big headwinds there through goods. So movement through people, movement through goods, movement through capital, which is mainly through banks. Banks are going to get more regulated, and then even movement through information, where I think there may be some headwinds for the internet was designed to survive a nuclear war, but even so, I think there are sort of a lot of regulatory challenges that the Silicon Valley is going to be facing from Western Europe and elsewhere in the years ahead. So I think the tide on globalization is just going out in a pretty big way.
If you understand President Trump, you understand free market Renaissance economies versus globalist, stagnant, command and control economies. President Trump, for his entire life and his father's business life, was all about service economies that rise and fall with the prosperity of the people. He's not a Goldman Sachs banker. He's not a J.P. Morgan banker who makes more money and gets more control during recessions and depressions. For the Trump family, not just President Trump himself, it's always been about his destiny being tied to the destiny of the economy, of Main Street, not Wall Street. And if you understand that fundamental dichotomy, it's all crystal clear. The globalists want to pull the ladder up of success. They want to have a giant underclass they control. They want planned austerity where third world populations can't even have a car or air conditioning. And that's called liberalism.
But everybody's going to have to do something. Everybody's going to have to make some important choices here. And I expect that it's going to be your generation that helps lead this, because if we don't, it's going to be your generation that suffers the most. Ultimately, if you think about all the youth that everybody's mentioned here in Africa, if everybody's raising living standards to the point where everybody's got a car and everybody's got air conditioning and everybody's got a big house, well, the planet will boil over.
Economic slavery is not liberalism. Claiming that innovation and humanity having a better life is a bad thing is claiming that civilization itself is fundamentally bad. Does civilization have its bad byproducts and problems? Absolutely. And we're making those things better. In the 50s and 60s and 70s, our air was completely polluted. So we came up with catalytic converters. That's innovation. That's technology getting better and better and cleaner. Not saying get rid of technology for the general public because it's bad for the earth, but the elite, they're going to be a breakaway society with unlimited advanced technology that you don't have access to. That is the ultimate form of discrimination. And that's why they're using all this racial push and all this brainwashing about Eric Trump's haircut being racist and all the rest of this garbage to divert us about imaginary boogeymen and windmills we're supposed to slay, while as a population, as a culture, as a nation, as a planet, as a species, we have a global elite that is consolidating control. For more than 6,000 years of recorded human history, historians, chroniclers of their time, have all agreed on one great thing. And it's that there are critical times in history where more happens in just a few years to change the future destiny of humanity's trajectory that happened in the previous 100. And with all of the advanced technology, with all of the incredible innovations that limited free market civilization has developed, we're seeing an acceleration of that great turning. We are approaching a mass jump point, tipping point, decision point that our species has never even imagined. Ladies and gentlemen, the equations that gave us atomic weapons and nuclear power were developed by Max Planck in 1900. That vision was then manifest in 1945 when 2 atomic bombs were dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, Japan. That's 1900 quantum mechanics in the human mind. Theoretical, then put into action. Today, the elites of the globe have been in consensus, from China to Europe to the United States, that they were going to hoard all the advanced technologies and keep them back from the American people and the people of the world. But President Trump, in his inaugural speech, foreshadowed the fact that we are about to discover the secrets of the universe together. And that's because many of the secrets have already been discovered.
We stand at the birth of a new millennium, ready to unlock the mysteries of space, to free the earth from the miseries of disease, and to harness the energies, industries, and technologies of tomorrow. A new national pride will stir our souls, lift our sights, and heal our divisions. It's time to remember that old wisdom our soldiers will never forget, that whether we are black or brown or white, we all bleed the same red blood of patriots.
And that simple, basic fact is why the globalists hate Trump. It's why they hate me. It's why they hate you, because you innately have the spark of the universe in you. As Mahatma Gandhi said, each of us has the seed of the universe within our heart, within our soul. And Trump wants prosperity. Everything he and his family have done as the blue-collar billionaire is about service economy. Golf courses and hotels and shops and businesses and train stations. Commerce. If you're not doing good, he doesn't do good. Globalism is all about picking winners and losers. It's all about going back to an old feudal system where the elites decide who can even engage in commerce. So we have a fight between free market, open, Renaissance society and the crony capitalist collectivist model that can manifest itself as fascism, as communism, as socialism, as orthodox radical Islam. They're all cults of power based on conquest, not based on innovation. Has our republic been involved in military operations and certainly conquest? Absolutely. No nation, no empire, no people, no culture is perfect. And those are our better angels versus our fallen angels. What side we decide to choose. I, as we enter the month of July, have chosen the greater angels, the better angels of our republic, of Thomas Jefferson and George Washington, of our forebears. And the true religious freedom to worship Christ or not worship Christ, and to raise your family as you see fit, and to live in an open society where we're tolerant, but we have the right to live like we individually wish as well. The left sees you as flyover country. Whether you're black, white, Hispanic, old, young, they don't care. They want to run your life. They want to dominate you. They want to control you. They want to shut down any avenues that they can be challenged. They want to end, as John D. Rockefeller I said, competition is a sin. So this July 4th, I wanted to look back on the epic battle of the last 2 years or so that we can appreciate and, quite frankly, be thankful that we have gone from almost no hope to now seeing so many good things happening and real hope and real confidence being restored, and to know that we've got a fighting chance. That's why, other than Trump, Infowars is the most attacked organization now in the world. They're not attacking me. I'm just a focal point. They're attacking you because you've seen through their lies. You understand their propaganda, and you didn't care when you were being ridiculed by your neighbors or friends or family because you knew you were right. In the campaign, we heard Americanism, not globalism. Well, what did that really mean, number one? And number two, if Trump delivered on his promise of Americanism, not globalism, what would that actually look like?
Americanism, not globalism, will be our credo. Americanism, not globalism. Americanism, not globalism. The era of economic surrender will finally be over. We will no longer surrender this country or its people to the false song of globalism.
They have gotten the political establishment and the media establishment to become pure, wanton henchmen of totalitarianism.
If you were a foreign power looking to weaken America, you couldn't do better than Hillary Clinton's economic agenda.
I think what the Chinese have done is really smart.
The skyscrapers went up in Beijing and many other cities around the world, while the factories and neighborhoods crumbled right here in Detroit.
It's all training us to accept less, lowering expectations, a post-industrial world, a new dark age. That's what the UN Biological Diversity Assessment 1996 calls for.
When we abandoned the policy of America first, we started rebuilding other countries instead of our own.
Not a world, Winston, that gets more beautiful and more technological and stronger. A world that gets uglier and stupider and more stunted.
That the government should allow Hillary Clinton to become president of the United States.
I voted for Hillary Clinton.
Well, I voted for Hillary. I guess I have to since I'm working for her as well.
You want an image of the future, Winston? It's a boot stomping on a human face forever.
Muslims are peaceful and tolerant people and have nothing whatsoever to do with terrorism.
Women are treated, discriminated against in all of these countries she took money against. Gays and lesbians are either executed or punished severely. They're mistreated. She claims to be their champion. Don't look at me, Winston, and see the black circles around my eyes and see how ugly and weak I am, expressing myself and dying, that I torture people 18 hours a day, that I have a horrible life. That's the beauty of the satanic evil of the priest of power, ripping apart humanity. We're here to hurt humans. We're here to suck your guts out. Americanism, not globalism, means the American system of not having centralized elites, not having a bunch of regulations and controls, but being able to compete in an open free market, even if you didn't come from some elite family. That's what the American system is all about. It doesn't mean we ever even fully achieved it, but it was that idea that the British Empire and others were so afraid of. And they said, if the American system succeeds, it'll be over for us because we're the ones that have been picking the winners and losers.
The dishonest media will never keep us from accomplishing our objectives on behalf of our great American people. Will never happen. Their agenda is not your agenda. You've been saying it. I will never stop fighting for you. I am delivering on trade, on the economy, on the Supreme Court, on the Second Amendment, on our military, for our veterans, and on our borders, where we are doing record stoppage.
To have a nation, you've got to have borders. And Trump pledged to beef up border security and deport felons. He's done that. And early numbers show a 43% or higher drop in illegals coming across the southern border just since President Trump got in January 20th. And, of course, right after he actually got into office, he killed the unelected TPP treaty that Hillary and others had been secretly ratifying for a decade, absolutely driving a stake through the heart of unelected world corporate government. He then pulled us out of the Paris Accord and laid out that it was a global carbon tax that only Europe and the United States and Australia had to be under. Designed to deindustrialize us, designed to move what was left of our industry to China and other nations. And did China and India even get mad at us for that? No. They actually recognize the fact that we actually have a real president now and have finally started to treat our president with respect. The Indian prime minister embraced President Trump, something never before seen, because they have so much respect for the fact that he's standing up for this nation and pulling out of globalism that is nothing but a planetary form of colonialism. Oh my God, what's going to happen? Who would have imagined just a year ago that we'd be watching the literal fall of CNN in real time, caught red-handed, manufacturing the fake Russia election narrative in their own words to make money and to generate ratings at the expense of endangering everyone with nuclear war. And on a daily basis, more shoes drop, more dominoes fall, not just at CNN, but at MSNBC, at ABC, at NBC. Megyn Kelly's ratings continue to drop like a stone because the American people are completely breaking with the old order, with the establishment. 15 years ago, I could have a Hollywood star on the show because they were interesting and people thought it was cool. Now, if I even talk about Hollywood stars in a hateful manner, my audience gets angry and says, we don't even want to hear about that scum. Damn them to Hades. We don't want them in our universe. Talk about radioactive. The establishment is the most uncool, vampirous, collapsing house of cards the world has ever seen. But that's why they're targeting our children. That's why Hollywood's being brought into the schools to sexualize them, because it's their only hope is to get in there as cultural and psychic vampiric pedophiles and wreck our children's minds. Quite frankly, I'm on my knees every morning and every night before God because I am so thankful to see the tide turning against this slime. Ladies and gentlemen, this isn't just a battle to retake America. This is a battle to retake the world from elites that have used high-tech psychological warfare systems to brainwash and dumb down the population so they could greedily control human destiny. No, we are taking control of our destiny from these corrupt elites. It doesn't mean we're offering some panacea. It doesn't mean we're moving towards some perfect heavenly Valhalla, nirvana. No, we are simply going back to common sense, tried and true, pro-human, pro-family, pro-God systems that are popular because they work. They build prosperity, they build security, they build civilization, but they don't build tyrannies, and that's why dirtbag globalists everywhere hate it. Look around you. This isn't hype. We're changing history. We're changing the world for the better. You are the heart and the very blood of this movement. That's why on my knees, I am begging you to realize how important you are and the fact that we are engaged in a non-zero sum game here of total 360 win. And that's why I'm going to ask you humbly to please continue to pray for InfoWars. Please continue to pray for our providence, our provision, and please continue to pray for my crew and everyone else out there who is fighting on the very front lines against the globalists, because the enemy does throw a lot of darts at us. They do engage in a lot of dirty tricks, but God always comes through. Bottom line, our provision is your prayers, and it's also your support. So realize this fight is more intense than ever. When you share a video or an article, or when you tweet what we're doing, or you Facebook what we're doing, or you tell somebody, most importantly in person, to tune into local radio stations, when you financially support us, all of those things is a trifecta. Prayer, spreading the word, and financial support allow us to be provisioned and put on the full armor of the information war to march out against the enemy. You are the wind in our sails. You are the sunlight that grows the crops. You are the ocean in which the fish live. You are the atmosphere of the human heart that is refusing to submit to these tyrants. Again, in the month of July, more than ever, commit to support the InfoWar. I want to thank you all humbly for what you've done. I want to thank you humbly for the tens of thousands of reviews on third-party sites like Power Reviews supporting our products, our water filtration systems, our T-shirts, our nutraceuticals. Without you, none of this would be happening. to celebrate our comeback, to celebrate the fact that our republic is coming back from the dead, I'm going to extend the 4th of July specials throughout the month of July. Now, to be clear, the free shipping will continue. A lot of these products like X2, Super Male, Lung Cleanse, Selenium, and others are very close to selling out. But when those sell out, I will continue to discount all the other major nutraceuticals and products between 20 and 30%. In fact, some of the discounts are as high as 40% on some of the Enrix Essentials, so we're going to continue those as well. Until they sell out, while supplies last, the lowest discounts are 10%, the highest discounts are 40%, to celebrate the victories we've had against the globalist. That's InfoWarsLife.com, InfoWarsStore.com, or 888-253-3139. Undoubtedly, this is going to be the most intense, long-lasting sale in the history of InfoWars, because right now, the quickening, the acceleration of awakening, the spiritual unlocking is white hot. And I am just honored to be here with you all together. Because as one caller said, we're not just the tip of the spear. This audience of patriots of every race, color, and creed who bleed red blood and want to be free are the sword of truth. And I am humbled to be associated with you all. But I'm simply here to raise the alarm as a watchman so that men greater than I can stand up and take action against the globalist. That's always been my vision. It's always been my gut level understanding, and I'm seeing it manifest today because of many of you out there taking action. Understand, ladies and gentlemen, it is such a revolutionary act against tyranny when you spread the word, when you call into C-SPAN, when you call into a talk show, when you publish a blog, when you talk to your neighbors, when you promote the Constitution, when you promote free market, when you promote non-GMO, when you expose the dangers of vaccines, when you do any of these thousands of things and say no to the corporate bullies, no to the leftist trying to woodpecker you into submission, you change the world the moment you stop letting them intimidate you. Again, this July is a very, very important time. We're seeing the life and death struggle of humanity. We're seeing the self-determination battled out right now. We're seeing our future course being set. This is a time in history when the major decisions are being made. And if there's one thing historians agree on, there are times historically when more happens in just a few years than happened in the previous 100, and that govern, in some cases, the next 1,000 years. We are in that magic space right now, and we all need to realize it and be aware of it and to be involved now more than ever. Because if you're watching this transmission, you're the hope. As I've told you 1,000 times plus, you are the resistance. Be honest with yourselves. In all the history of modern media, have you ever seen them demonize someone more than they have yours truly? Ask yourself, why is the corporate media, why is Hollywood so desperately afraid of me? Why do they lie and twist my every word and then desperately tell you not to listen to me? It's because, ladies and gentlemen, I've got their number. I've done the research. And it's unbelievable the crimes they're openly committing. They think you're idiots. They think you're morons. They brag on C-SPAN that you have the attention of a goldfish. Zuckerberg says, my users trust me. They're dumb. Well, you know what? I don't think you're a dumb. I think you have a soul and a heart and a mind. And I believe they've been bombarding you with chemicals and biologicals and brainwashing from birth via television until you don't know even what universe you're living in. So I'm here to shake you awake, because if we don't come together, the globalists are going to be able to totally dominate our species and destroy us forever. Actually tune into the show at Infowars.com for yourself. Write down some notes and then search out the terms and issues I'm covering. And find out, ladies and gentlemen, that the reason they fear Infowars and myself so much is that we are simply the rabbit hole. It's up to you to take the red pill and find out how deep it goes. The Matrix doesn't want you to take that pill. I just want you to know all I am offering is the truth. I may look through a scanner darkly and distort some things in my own mind, but in the final equation, I'm trying to tell the truth, and that's why I've changed the world. So find out what the enemy's so scared of right now. Find out what I'm actually saying for yourself and not what they're telling you I said. The globalists want you to sleep so they can live. I want you to awaken so we can all have a future together. I'm Alex Jones. Visit Infowars.com today and find out why I am public enemy number one.
If you are receiving this transmission, you are the resistance.
Myco ZX is back in after 5+ months sold out. Talk about next level probiotic. It's the anti-fungus, anti-yeast, latest technology, 4.8 stars. It's been sold out for months, big waiting list, limited amount because it's so hard to get the compounds and to have it be California standards. Nobody's got something that's good. Save 30% off of Myco ZX and get the gut health support pack when you get it with the Biome Defense 50 billion live in each pill probiotic. Myco ZX contains 7 of the world's most powerful organic and well-crafted ingredients designed to attack and melt away the membrane of yeast and fungal organisms. Start fighting back against hidden yeast and fungus with Myco ZX, InfoWarsLife.com before it sells out again. 10% off when you choose auto ship. It's kind of embarrassing to get family and crew members on that, have irritable bowel and Crohn's type stuff that didn't exist 50 years ago. Now it's epidemic. But I'm getting ready to have a bunch of folks go ahead and come on air and tell you what it did for them, because regardless, you can't lose your funding the operation. InfoWarsLife.com, InfoWarsStore.com, or 888-253-3139.